All right. Good evening and welcome to the Sideline podcast. It's episode 84, May 9th, 2026. Remember where you were in this moment. Tonight, we've got a great show for you. Talking best NFL free agents still available. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. We're going to give you the rundown of that. And then we're going to answer a question about Wemby, the only question that all of us have, and we have the answer. So stay tuned for that. And we're also going to talk about, oh man, Kevin, if you're watching, he's not on the show tonight, but Philadelphia Flyers, they went into OT, or they're going into OT right now as we are talking against the Carolina Hurricanes. Was Booker correct on his take about the Philadelphia Flyers, or is he off of his rocker? Good evening, Alo. Welcome to the show. You're always here, and I appreciate that about you. How are you tonight, man?
I'm good, man. I'm doing great. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Kevin said I can't be on there tonight. We got Tyler out as well. Some of my favorite shows, though, I love those boys. But we've done this a couple times together, just pinch hitting. And these are some fun shows. I think we do an all right job.
I agree.
It's mainly you, but I'm glad to be on the other side here next to you. So yeah, glad to hear that you're doing well, brother, and that you had a good day. I'm working on my lawn still. Just an update. A squirrel dug a hole in that thing. In the newly planted grass, a squirrel dug a hole, and it's just an absolute eyesore. Before we get going, though, I got a question for you.
Yep.
Just quick answer, because I know we got a packed show.
Yep.
I was at Trader Joe's today, day before Mother's Day. Everyone is, buying their Mother's Day cards, getting their stuff for their Mother's Day, for their wife or their mom. The line is wrapped around all of the aisles. And so I thought to myself, okay, looking at the carts, looking at the lines, but also looking at the checkers. And I'm wondering, what is your methodology? What's your strategy here? When there's a long line, there's maybe six or seven options. Are you looking for the fastest checker, or are you looking at the baskets that are in line and seeing how long those baskets are going to take to get through?
I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at the baskets, because even if the checker's slow and there's only a couple items, it'll go by fast. But if you got a whole family with sometimes two carts, that could take a little bit, especially if you just got flowers and chocolate or whatever it might be.
That's true. That's the way I went as well. I also look at the other customers, and I'm like, is that someone who uses a checkbook? Because if that's someone who uses a checkbook, I'm going to be here all day. So,
yeah,
nice work. Okay, so we're gonna, as we always do, we're gonna talk about what's trending in sports right now. Let's go ahead and talk about the Flyers and the Canes. So I've got a current score. Looks like OT just started. Carolina's leading the series 3-0. It's tied 2-2. I said last week that the Flyers would be lucky to win one game and that they were probably going to get swept.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? I mean, I don't know how much you follow hockey. What are your thoughts on that? The two Flyers fans are off the show tonight, so we can absolutely dog on them.
Yeah. For Kev's sake, he's got enough sports where they're winning. He just had a Super Bowl recently. He'll be okay. But I will say the Flyers are not going to beat the Canes. I never thought they were going to beat the Hurricanes. I not one time did I think that. I was with you. I actually got them going to the championship, to the Stanley Cup. But yeah, I just think they're too dominant. They were the best team in the NHL this year. Avalanche is pretty nice, though. I will say that Avalanche is nice. They're a little scary, but I just feel like they're the best team in the NHL right now.
Yeah. I agree. The way they're playing is like they've got their hair on fire. My guess is that it's going to be Colorado against Carolina. I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan, but they're just too inconsistent. I don't see that coming to fruition for them this year. It's the curse of being a Buffalo fan. The Bills and the Sabres just can't be consistent enough to go all the way, and that's just what it is. So, any other things on hockey? It looks like Colorado and Minnesota we've got coming up at 6:00 p.m. Pacific time. Colorado's leading that series 2-0. I just think they're a wagon. They're not going anywhere.
I truly believe whoever wins out of Carolina and Avalanche, I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like, to me, it's almost like whoever wins the West in the NBA, I believe will win the finals. It's kind of like that. I just think they're the two best teams. I just think whichever one wins is going to dominate.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. We're going to move on to NBA here shortly, but we did want to touch on, we're going to talk about some NFL stuff a little bit later, and we've got some slides for that for your viewing pleasure. But we did want to give an update here. Aaron Rodgers still holding out.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what? I'm to the point where I even talked about this a little bit ago, but I'm to the point where, yes, the best option for him is to go back to the Steelers if he's going to come back. But honestly, the best option in general is for him to retire, go on a beach, disappear like he told us he was, because every season now for the last, 2 years, he's been talking about, oh, am I going to play again or not? I mean, each time he comes back, the team is mediocre or average. So we're not getting Aaron Rodgers in his 30s and 20s, of course. We're getting retired Aaron Rodgers, grandpa Aaron Rodgers. He needs to go chill, relax. I don't know. He needs to do something, find a new hobby, but I think football's done for him.
I think so too. I don't think he's in any position to be holding out, but
yeah.
We'll see what ends up happening. Maybe by next week's show, we'll have more news on that. But knowing his history, we will not have any news about that. So we'll see what happens. Tell me about Breece Hall.
Listen, I thought this pick or the signing was great for both sides. I mean, now it tells me, okay, I know Allen is behind him, but now it tells me he's a number one. You know, he's always been the number one option, but now they paid him $45 million, 3 years. He's RB1. Nobody's thinking about Allen going over him. Another reason why I liked it is because this team is now pretty complete besides quarterback. I mean, on the offensive side, I mean, they have now Geno Smith, and we're not going to get into Russell Wilson. That's bad. But they do have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Sadiq, Cooper. I mean, that's a nice – or Taylor, too. That's really, really nice. I mean, that's setting them up for the future. So now the quarterback, I've talked about it, could possibly be Arch or more in there next in 2027, running out with that team. That's going to be very, very beneficial for any young quarterback that's coming in there. And the run game is super important. And Breece Hall has been doing very well with the terrible Jets team.
Yeah, agreed. The Jets are so interesting to me because it seems like they're the only team that could figure out a way. No, never mind. The Cleveland Browns are in there too, but they're one of the only teams that can figure out how to mess something up. Yeah. They really are set up better than I've seen them set up in my lifetime. To go out and potentially have a little bit of a stinker of a year on purpose with Geno Smith at the wheel, and then pick up a nice franchise quarterback, and then all the other pieces are around them. They really could be a scary team if they were managed better, but they simply are not.
Yeah, and I was even going to add, they got Bailey in the draft with the second pick, and I don't know, man. Like I don't want to say this because I hope the best for Tyler's Colts, but you know, if Daniel Jones doesn't come back right away, I don't know. Like they're not. Who they gonna throw out there? Anthony Richardson? I don't know. Like that could be a top 10, top 15 pick if Daniel Jones is not able to come back right away. And then the other good thing about the Jets with the 2027 pick is they got what's worse, the Green Bay pick or Dallas, whichever one's worse, which I don't know. Anything can happen. You know, I could see that maybe being a top 15 pick, especially in the NFC. So,
yeah, I think so too. And also, at the moment, there's no one on YouTube, and that's okay. Just so you know, we're doing this a different way where we're running things not through X, but on YouTube. So I'm able to say this right now because there's just no one on. We're going to also make a lot of shorts out of these things. So Kevin will see that I'm talking about this and cut this part out, but we're going to do some shorts with this great content. So I know it can look a little discouraging to see a 0 up there, but yeah, we're going to keep rolling, baby. All right. So moving on. So before we go to college football storylines, and it looks like we're going to talk Notre Dame, we're going to talk Ohio State, and then we're going to get into some NFL news. But I kind of want to hear about the NBA. The NBA playoffs are currently happening. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things happening. there's some potential for the New York Knicks, baby. And I picked them to go all the way. So tell me some good news here. Give us your update on the NBA playoffs.
All right, so our update on the NBA, let's get to it. So the Detroit Pistons, they were, the first round, they were out and about against the Magic, and they came back from down 3-1, and they look like a whole different team now. Kate Cunningham is a beast. They did lose today in Cleveland, but they're up 2-1. But you know what? I just don't believe in James Harden, man. Every year he's this great player in the regular season. Come playoffs, he stinks it up. He's like me out there when it comes to the playoffs. Like, he's 0 for 9 from 3, and it's like, brother, what did we bring you here for? And then he changes a bunch of teams. So that's just my take on it. Then we go to the Lakers versus the Thunder. The Lakers look like they can't find their magic without Luka. Unfortunately, LeBron James was able to beat the Houston Rockets, but this is the champs that they're playing now. There's a different ball game. I do believe that the Lakers need to win tonight to even make it a series, but I still think if they win tonight, they still get gentlemen's sweep 4-1. That's just my take on that. But I just believe OKC sees way too much. This one was interesting. Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Spurs. The Wolves beat the Nuggets without Ant the last game. And then Ant comes back as a shocker. I don't know how he comes back. I didn't even think he was going to be available in the second round. But he comes back the first game, and that gives them a boost. The Wolves win. And you know what? This is crazy to say when I say this stat line, but Wemby had 11 points, 15 rebounds, I'm pretty sure like 13 blocks. So he had a triple-double, and we were sitting here saying that's not a Wemby game. That's a bad game. Then he did shoot not too well from the 3, but then game 2 and game 3, game 2, they smacked him. And he looked like the alien we know that he is. This man, I don't know how you stop him. I don't know. But I will say the Wolves have made 2 consecutive Western Conference Finals. In order to make it 3, they need to win tomorrow in Minnesota. If they lose, I think it goes 4-1. If they win, I think it goes 7 games, and you never know what happens in game 7. Now on to my favorite one. Save the best for last. I hope Kevin is watching. So the Knicks versus the Sixers. Oh my. I know Kevin must be thinking that he's getting pumped because the Sixers came back from 3-1 to the Celtics. And for the most part, the Celtics been the big dog of the East, you know? And now the Sixers are down 3-0. They look awful out there. Jalen Brunson is giving them buckets. No team has ever come back from 3-0. So I just wanted to ask you, Booker, maybe you have more information on this. So we have to check on Kevin, basically, because he didn't come in today. I just wanted to ask if he's sick, because I know he is sick of watching his Sixers. And I just need to say, hey, there's always next year, baby.
Yeah, man, it's a tough gig. And just so you know here too, I'm going to throw this on stage as well, because the game is complete. The Carolina Hurricanes have defeated the Flyers in overtime and swept the Philadelphia Flyers. So not only are we talking about the Sixers and what's happening against the Knicks, but we got the sweep, which I called the sweep. And I didn't actually, truthfully, I didn't want it to happen. I actually like the Philadelphia Flyers. I like the way they play. The Carolina is just too much. So that happened, and now we've got the 76ers absolutely on the brink. Do you think – so we'll check on Kevin. I'll send him – maybe we'll do like one of those wellness checks. We'll call the police over on the west side there and just see like, hey, can you check on this guy? We need to make sure. But do the 76ers even get a win? Or are they getting swept?
I think they're getting swept. I will say for Kevin, I will say the future looks bright because they have Maxey and VJ. VJ is special. I'm pretty sure he was like the 3rd pick overall. The Sixers this last draft. I think he's going to be a star. Joel Embiid, I think it's time that they part ways. he's so inconsistent, like playing wise, because he's always injured. I just think it's time for them to find someone else and part that, because he's been talking about trust the process for 10 years. Come on now.
That's what I was about to ask you about is like Philly fans are, good thing the Eagles are who the Eagles are, because if the Eagles were given a goose egg, that town may not exist in a week.
Yeah.
Like, are the Philly fans over it? Like, are they on board to continue to trust the process here, or is that just phony now?
No, that's phony. If I'm a Sixers fan, if I'm a Sixers fan, I'm not trusting that, because you just beat the Celtics and now you're down 3-0 to the Knicks. The Celtics, they had a better record. They were number 2 in the East, and they've always been, with Jaylen Brown and Tatum. That's a good squad, and you beat them. You beat the team that's giving you trouble, and honestly giving the East most of the trouble. And then you have the chance to go and beat the Knicks, and you're down 3-0. And I'm not saying I was expecting the Sixers to go in there and sweep the Knicks. That's not what I'm saying. But make it a series. Like, you're down 3-0. Yeah, I don't. If I'm Sixers fans, I'm not. I'm done with trusting the process. I want that process out of there.
Yeah. What do you think if they get swept here? What's happening in Philly next year? I don't know who's coaching there at the moment, but who you got?
Coach. No, I like the coach. He's a great coach. I think it's Nurkic, or not Nurkic. I know he won the NBA championship with the Raptors the year that Kawhi was there for 1 year. Okay. He's a good coach, though. I do like him. The only thing I think now that you have Maxey and you have VJ, I think you need to go younger. I think you need to get rid of Paul George. He's older. If you do keep him, that's fine, because Paul George can be an asset, but you got to get rid of Joel Embiid. That relationship's done with.
Embiid kind of seems to be the center. I know we're talking Philadelphia here a lot. This is for Kevin. Embiid kind of seems to be the center of controversy for the Philadelphia 76ers year in and year out, as far as just inconsistency, injuries, whatever it may be. Like, the guy just can't seem to get it done. I agree. I think he's just got to go. And I'd be interested in hearing what Kevin has to say. But
yeah, and I was going to say it honestly has nothing to do with his playing, because when he's out there, I'm pretty sure Kevin can tell you watches the games. He's balling out. There's times where we were comparing him with Jokic, like, who's the best center. But Jokic is always out there, and Embiid's never out there. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right, before we move on from the NBA here, I've got one question here, and I teased this at the very beginning because it's what we all want to know. Alo, is Wemby indeed an alien? I heard that he had quite a fourth quarter the other night. It took over the game, and I like what you said. I think Ant is one of my favorite players in the NBA. He just dominates, like a single guy dominating. I love the way he plays. He's got the swagger and the confidence to make things happen. But Wemby is a tough out. Isn't the man an alien? The Pentagon has released a lot of things about aliens this week. Are they doing that to get ahead of the story about Wemby?
Yeah, listen, I'm agreeing with you, Booker. Ant's one of my favorite players, probably my favorite player right now. But there is nothing this man Wemby can't do. He can shoot threes. He can. People say he can't post up the best, but I still think he can post up decently. He's 7'4", 7'3". I think he's 7'4" now. I don't know. It's crazy, but he can shoot. Like I said, he can dribble. He has a nicer dribble than some guards out there. He also blocks shots and plays perfect defense. Like, he plays amazing defense. And this man's always trying to win. He put the France team on his back and made it a competition in the Olympics. Like, he's a beast. Like, that man's always, like, he's a leader. You could tell. The teams he has, they play very well. And right now he has a great cast around him, because he has Castle, which is a defensive guard. He has Fox, which is, probably one of the fastest guards. They have Barnes, a vet. But Wemby, I'm going to be honest with you, there's not one thing that man can't do. So, yes, I think we need to check Area 51, because he would be there. and he is the best player right now. I'm sorry, but he is. How do you guard that? That's the question. He's an alien. There you go.
Wemby is an alien. You heard it here first. I got to know, though, this is the burning question, too. The question behind the question is, who's taller? Is it Wemby or Diego Pavia?
I think Wemby's like 3 of them.
Yeah, you could. I think you might be able to like have Diego Pavia cloned a couple times, standing on his own shoulders. I had to do that. Kevin's not here. I to defend the guy. I got to do it.
If Diego was Wemby's size, man, he would have been the number 1 pick in the draft. But
yeah,
nah, he's like 3 of them.
He is like 3 of them, man. Yeah, sorry for the shots there. I just kind of, man, I had to. I just absolutely had to.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Well, last thing, the Knicks. I've said this. I picked them to win. I think that they play. I think they're going to win it. I'm choosing to win it all. Now, San Antonio. It wouldn't surprise me if San Antonio wins. San Antonio, OKC, or the Timberwolves. I just think the way the Knicks play, they're just so gritty and tough. They're not afraid to be physical. I love that style of play. And Jalen Brunson has been on an absolute tear. Yeah. If he continues to play that way, they're going to be a tough out themselves. And I think the city of New York, the Knicks fans need something to celebrate. It's been a while. I think I read something. It's been since like the early 80s or something since they've won a final. So give me the Knicks. Who are you picking to? We'll do our picks probably later on later shows. But right now, based on what you're seeing, who's winning it all?
Yeah, I do have the Knicks going to the finals. I just think the problem is their strength is what OKC or the Spurs have as well. They have guards, and I don't think they can like stop Brunson, but I think they can contain him. And now the Spurs and OKC have what Knicks struggle with, and that's going to be some defense. I mean, those guards, OKC's defense is nasty. The Spurs, I mean, imagine little Brunson compared to Wemby. I'm not saying he's small, but compared to Wemby, he's a little guy. We all are. Imagine that man having to go into the hole and score on Wemby. I mean, it's going to be tough. So, plus, like I said, they have Castle, and then OKC has Dort, and they have so many options as well. But my pick, I don't want this team to win, but unfortunately, I think they're going to win. I'm kind of discouraged how the NBA refs are doing as well. I mean, I saw some questionable calls versus the Lakers, but I do think OKC wins it again. I think Shea gets Finals MVP, and we might be sitting here in a couple months talking about is Shea, an all-time great. Well, I'm pretty sure if he wins another one, he is an all-time great, but we might be talking about top 5 player of all time.
Yeah, that's very possible. I can't rally around SGA. I think the way he plays, the flopping, it's just so frustrating to watch. And I've seen a lot on X about his style of play and how it's just taking credibility away from the NBA with his style of play. And there's no doubt he's a talented player, but like, stop drawing so many fouls on like fake, phony drives and all of that. How is he going to? So San Antonio, if they beat the Timberwolves, they are matched up against presumably OKC. How's SGA going to do against driving against Wemby?
It's going to be tough, but I just think that the only thing I will say that helps OKC, it might not look like a lot right now, but it's playoff experience. I mean, OKC they're champions. They have the experience. The Spurs, they played the Blazers. The Blazers, come on. And then now they're playing the Timberwolves, but they're not playing the Timberwolves to a full strength Timberwolves team. They will get from so far a full strength OKC. Hopefully J-Dub comes back as well. But if he does, I don't know. That team's just too experienced. The Spurs are too young. I mean, for the future, I see Wemby winning a couple finals. But for this year alone, I think he needs to go. His team and him need to go through that one series where, okay, this battle tested us. Now we're back for the next year.
Yeah. Love it. Well, thanks for giving the updates on the NBA. We'll always touch on that. That's what we do in the show. And I'm just going to throw this comment up here real quick. It's pinned on the show. We do NBA, NHL, obviously the NFL, NCAA football. Hit subscribe and let us know where you are joining. Where in the world are you joining the show from? That's what we really want to know. And at the moment, like there's one person on here. I just want to know where you're joining. And is it Is it Kevin? That's what I want to know. All right. So let's go ahead and keep moving here.
Mhm.
We're going to talk a little bit about college football storylines. And you might have a couple of things. I got a couple of things here for you as well. I'll kick us off. So Ohio State is ranked number 1 in numerous way too early preseason rankings. Do you think this should be the case? And if so, or if not, who should be ranked preseason number 1? I think historically you've got the previous national champs, the reigning national champs.
Yeah.
In this case, I think maybe Ohio State's roster is telling people otherwise. What are your thoughts on this?
I will say I do believe that Ohio State should be ranked number 1 just off, Jeremiah Smith's coming back, Julian Saints coming back. The defense is still good. They got a lot of players returning. I still think, but I will say, I'm not an Ohio State fan. It's tough. I'm not the biggest fans of them, but I will say this. Every time Ohio State's ranked up there, they don't win the next season. So I would love to not see them there. And you know what? I'm gonna give you a surprising one. Maybe not a surprising one to you because it's me and I'm biased. But
oh man, here we go.
Don't sleep on the Canes. Listen. We just got the quarterback from Duke. I mean, he basically told Duke, like, hey, I'm not signing with you. I'm sorry, I'm re-signing. I'm discontinuing that contract and going to the Canes. He's going because he knows he's got a better chance of being a top pick and he's got a better chance of winning. And the ACC is not the strongest. So, hey, it might be between the Hurricanes and Notre Dame. I don't know. I could see my Canes surprising people. And guess what? The Canes do best when they're underdogs. I mean, we saw the team last year. Nobody expected Carson Beck and the Canes to go to the national championship and be in the game because I mean, a lot of us thought that Indiana was going to smack them. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Canes, in the national championship again.
Yeah. I don't hate that. Yeah. The Ohio State, obviously the offense, they've reloaded, or they're the same. Julian Sand, Jeremiah Smith, Bo Jackson, they still recruit at an elite level. So number 1 does make sense to me. However, they've lost a lot of guys on defense. So it will be very interesting. They were drafted, obvious studs. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that defense in the upcoming year here. So before we go on to my next storyline here and any that you have, we're going to do that little pause here in the show, trying to get people wrangled to our YouTube show.
All right, guys. I would just like to say thank you to our viewers for tuning in and supporting us on the Sideline podcast. We are a group of guys who love sports, and we truly enjoy talking about sports, giving advice, and sharing football updates. We appreciate our viewers more than anything. Without you, we would not be able to have this awesome platform. If you made it this far in the show, please hit that subscribe button and continue supporting us. Thank you for being on this journey with us and for being part of this incredible podcast.
Man, I had tears. I actually had to hold back some tears there. Absolutely beautiful. Love it, man. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, continuing on with college football storylines, do you have anything you want to talk about over here? And I've got one more.
Yeah, so my big one right now is I guess it's a question for you. Do you feel like the Arch Manning hype is too much, or do you feel like, because we always talk about Texas, Ewers first, and then now Arch. Do you think this is the year they win the national championship, or do you think Arch Manning has another kind of year he did, which wasn't horrible, but if they only lost. I mean, they lost 3 games, so they were out of the playoffs. Do you think it's another type of year like that, or do you think Arch brings them to the promised land and he gets the Heisman?
Ooh, I think this is the year, man. I actually do think this is the year. Texas is an elite level recruiter as well. They've got some studs on that team. Arch Manning, the hype over the past couple years has been so high, obviously, and I think it is just as high this year. The only difference is that 2 years have happened where Arch Manning has really come back down to earth. And so
Yeah.
I think he's grown. I think he's matured. I think he's realizing what it takes to be successful at this level. And I think he's going to reach the pinnacle of his college career in this upcoming year. And if Texas is going to win a national title in the next 5 years, 10 years, I think it has to happen next year because obviously Arch Manning is going to be out after next year. And so Arch is going to be looking to improve his draft stock. I think he wants to put the last 2 years behind him and really put on a show there in Austin. And so I don't know what you think, but I think Texas at least makes the national championship next year, if not wins it all. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I mean, Texas has a lot of returning players. They got Coleman, right? Or
yeah, Cam Coleman.
To add with Arch, that's nice. My other one was, who's your dark horse? I know it's early. Who's your dark horse Heisman Trophy winner that nobody is talking about?
Ooh, you know what? You're gonna like this actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw out Darian Mensah for the Canes.
Okay.
I know that you're gonna like that. What about? And you said that nobody's really talking about. So like, I also think that Bryce Underwood could have an incredible year.
I agree.
I think people are throwing him in that potential conversation just based on his skill set and the level of recruit that he was. I think Darian Mensah had a great year at Duke last year, and that's throwing to guys that are not the same caliber that he's going to be throwing to down there in Miami. And so I think he is blessed with just a wealth of riches, or whatever the word, the phrase is down there with the Hurricanes. And I think that that's my dark horse. Do you have one?
I was going to say the Canes, but if I'm not being biased, if I'm not, thinking about my team, I'm going to go Notre Dame.
CJ Carr?
Yes. I don't know if it's like a really top pick, but I guess if you want me to say dark horse, I'll go Lacey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Q and Lacey. Yep.
Yeah.
Out of Ole Miss. Yeah. I like that too.
I like that.
But, and Chambliss too, maybe.
Yeah. And I think I didn't pick Notre Dame with CJ because I think he's up there. I mean, he's projected to be a top 5 pick in the NFL. So if I'm going dark horse, I'm gonna go Lacey.
I like that. Q and Lacey. Yeah, I hope Ole Miss has a good year next year without the man whose name we do not speak about here. That was a great segue there, because my second and last one here actually has to do with Notre Dame. So let me read you this new rule for the 2026 CFP.
Gotcha.
So we've got, let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So in 2026, for the first time, and this is out of The Athletic, so all credit to The Athletic, and I quote, "The Power 4 conferences will each be guaranteed a spot for their conference champion, along with one spot for the highest ranked team from the group of 6. In addition," here's where I want you to key in. In addition, Notre Dame will be guaranteed a spot if it finishes ranked in the top 12. That is all of the whining of Notre Dame. I'm sorry. Like, I've been to a Notre Dame game. I love the history. I'll pull for Notre Dame against certain teams. That is so weak to me that you have to have this little special rule for you to make sure that you're not crying at the end of the year. That is ridiculous. And listen to this. Here's their schedule here. So they play Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Stanford, BYU, Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU, and Syracuse. So Miami and BYU are the only teams worth noting there. How are they not going to finish in the top 12? And with this new little wrinkle where if they finish in the top 12, they're going to make it automatically to the CFP. That just is weak.
That, I'm going to be honest with you. One, if they don't make it in the top 12, that organization is going to have some problems, and they're going to have to be firing some people, because, like you said, BYU and the Canes is the only problem they should encounter with those teams. But the second thing is, that sounds like some shade rage baiting, like getting fouled. And that it's just goofy, like, stuff that does not need to be happening. Like, bro, there's a bunch of teams that didn't make it in there in these playoffs during the time that the playoffs started. Like, we could say the same thing about Texas. Texas beat Texas A&M. Like, and they're not sitting here saying we need a specific, like, special treatment for them. Like, Art said, hey, I could have played better. The coach said the same thing. Like, I could have coached better. That's just how it needs to be. Like, there's games that Notre Dame should have won. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it because I'm a Canes fan, but they should have won that game. That would have got them right into the playoffs. So in order for you not to have that problem, just win your games that you're supposed to win.
I agree that it is next level whiny mentality. And I can't stand that. And so I hope that they have to beat BYU and they have to beat Miami. If they do not win either of those, I say they need to be out of the top 12 automatically, because you're not playing anyone else the rest of the year. You're basically making a schedule that will get you into the CFP, and that's all you care about. Yeah. I mean, I get that as a strategy, but you're absolutely right. That's SGA tomfoolery right there. So, all right, I digress. We'll go ahead and move on. Let's talk some NBA, shall we? Or no, NBA. We already talked NBA. Let's talk NFL.
Sounds good to me.
So we're going to talk NFL best free agents still available. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking about this slide right here as far as our man Russ Wilson? Is he the best free agent still available?
No. I think I like I said, I would like to see him on the Jets just to make fun of the Jets and have something to laugh at, because I know the Dolphins aren't going far. So it would give me something to laugh at. But yeah, he's not the best free agent right now. And honestly, it doesn't matter because him and Geno Smith both stink right now in their careers. Russell Wilson's older. Geno Smith is not young either, but it doesn't matter. As a football fan, it's going to be funny, but I don't see neither of them getting the Jets to the playoffs. So, it's just like, it's right now, it's like the brand name, like, okay, Russell Wilson, he's won a Super Bowl. He's done some good things in the NFL. Let's give him another chance. Kind of like he's getting a lot of chances because of that resume, but he's not bringing anybody anywhere. He's bringing them right home.
Yeah. I agree, man. I absolutely agree. Russell Wilson he should have left a while ago and created a legacy for us to remember of the good times, because those have come and gone. We talk about Eli Manning being a potential Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And he got out right at the right time. I think if he would have stayed, we would be looking at the same exact thing and not talking about the Hall of Fame. And now you got Russ Wilson staying in here, and people are actually questioning whether he should be in the Hall of Fame because he didn't get out at the right time. So I agree with you on that. Let's talk about Taylor Decker. We got a 32-year-old left tackle, premium position. Who signs him? Who should sign him?
So this is for Duffy. I think he'll really like this. I do believe he should sign with the Houston Texans. They need help on offensive line. A vet would be perfect for that line. Listen, the Jaguars, they didn't have a first this year. We don't know about Travis Hunter really. They say he's going to play defense, but that team easily got a couple wins that they shouldn't have got, in my opinion. The Colts, we don't know what Daniel Jones. And the Tennessee Titans did a lot of things, but they're still young in Cam Ward's second year with the new coaching staff. So the Texans could easily win that division. I mean, I could have seen the Texans go to the Super Bowl. If CJ Stroud would have played like Sam Darnold, they would be Super Bowl winners. I just believe that, just because that defense is so good. And they still have Nico Collins. He's not, I don't think he's as good as JSN, but he's a wide receiver one for sure. So they could have easily been in the Super Bowl. The other sneaky team is Joe Burrow. When you protect Joe Burrow, this man makes it far, plays the Chiefs, either wins or doesn't, and he makes it to the Super Bowl. So yeah, if you can keep him healthy and you can give him 50% of their defense, if it could be like what the offense is, just 50% of it, they probably make a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah. I truly believe those are the two best places. If he wants to win and have a chance to continue his career, I think the Texans and the Bengals will be perfect for him right now at 32.
Yeah, I agree. I like those two spots make the most sense. I think that it's been hard to protect CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
And it's also been hard. He hasn't had the same injury issues that Joe Burrow has, but you got to protect Joe Burrow. He's a monster when he's in there. They address some defensive issues, but to be able to bolster that O-line and help protect that guy so he doesn't have to miss games next year. I think that's a solid move. Let's talk about this one's close to my heart. AJ Epinesa. He's only 27 years old. Obviously, the edge rusher for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Why is he on the street? He had 3 straight seasons of 6+ sacks before. I mean, he had a stinker last year. But I mean, I think you could get him for dirt cheap. The Bills probably could have signed him for dirt cheap, and they did not. Where would you say, who needs his services? AJ Epinesa, originally out of the University of Iowa. And I really like the player. I love the player, man. I kind of sad to see him go. Where does he end up?
I know I've said this team again, but I'm going to say Bengals. I mean, matching him with Lawrence, but also another one would be the Bears. I mean, the Bears are a really good team. They just I feel like they need more pass rushers, and if they can add that, oh man, they can make some noise in the NFC. You know, they can really make some noise. I mean, they were like one play away from making the NFC Championship. So, I mean, with that, you know, Matthew Stafford, you get him one time. I mean, he's a beast. Adding that to the Bears pass rush would be wonderful for them and for him because he's going to be on a winning team. Even though he is coming from the Bills, I just think the Bears right now are just a better team.
Yeah, I agree. Here's a question for you. Would you rather have our next one here? We're going to talk about Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
Pretty healthy the last few years. Contenders, I believe, should be lining up for a team-friendly deal.
I agree.
Would you rather, where does Joey Bosa end up? And would you rather have Joey Bosa or Epenesa?
Okay, so I think Joey Bosa could be at any of these places. The Chicago Bears, the Eagles, the Rams. I just think those teams are really good right now, and the more depth they have, the more better. And they could get Joey Bosa at a good price. You know, you're just adding to your depth. So he should go to a stacked team. I mean, his goal is probably to want to win a Super Bowl. I mean, he's at that age where he probably wants to retire soon, and he doesn't really. I mean, everybody's always going to care about the money in some way, but he cares probably more about his accolades right now, and he wants that Super Bowl. I just think with the win now team, I think he should go to one of those three. But I'd rather have Epenesa, AJ. I'd rather have him. He's only 27 years old. I mean, like you said, you can get him for a pretty good price. I mean, he's what you said, 6 sacks in the last couple seasons.
Yeah, 3 of his last 4 seasons, he had 6+ sacks.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer. He shouldn't even, honestly, I can see why Bosa's on this list. He's 31. I don't know why AJ's on this list. That's the better question. Why is he even on this list? I mean, the last 4 years, 6+ sacks. A lot of teams join the Dolphins at this point if nobody wants to, you know. But I really do agree that he shouldn't even be on this list. I mean, a contender should have already swooped him up. That's just my opinion.
That probably happens soon. I'm assuming. Yeah, he's fresher. He has not dealt with the same injury issues that Joey Bosa has. Joey Bosa seems like, I mean, he's a boomer bust guy. He's a little bit of a liability for health reasons, and he's certainly more worried, I would assume, about getting that ring than he is about the dollar. So maybe you get a more team-friendly deal by signing Joey Bosa, but you're also getting a guy who's one snap away from potentially not being able to play the rest of the year. I don't feel the same about AJ Epinesa, and I'm sure the price is not that much different. So I agree with that 100%. How about this guy right here? We got David Njoku, 30 years old. He's been peaking as of late. And actually, this is an interesting one for me. I think maybe I've heard the Chargers are interested. Seems like a great fit. The Chargers have been a place where tight ends I just think about Antonio Gates, baby, man. Those were the days. Love me some Antonio Gates. I think Njoku has way more left in the tank. He's just been stuck in Cleveland, and that's a problem.
Yeah, he's been stuck, unfortunately, with bad quarterback play, and now Fannin is a monster. He's like a beast at tight end. He's like compared to Bowers, in my opinion, these days. So I think it was just tough for Njoku in that situation. But I mean, going to the Chargers, I don't see that as a bad spot, but they do have a young tight end that had a decent rookie year last year. He's only 22, so maybe, they want to continue that and make him, no competition there. But a team that I would go to, you're not going to win anything. But, man, imagine him on the Dolphins. I know we don't have Tua anymore because he was feeding the tight ends. I'll give him that. But I think Malik Willis can do the same thing for Njoku. And, I mean, right now, Njoku would probably be option number one. Besides the chain in the backfield, he would definitely be option number one as of right now. And he's a vet, only 29 years old. I mean, he could get paid, and he can have some production. And maybe he gets him to another team later. Maybe we use him as trade, and then later on he can win his Super Bowl or go to a contending team. But if you want to just go out there, make some money, and get some good stats, go to the Dolphins. I mean, you'll be option one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he is a guy that if I'm in need of a tight end, I am looking for David Njoku, because I do just believe that because of the situation that he's been stuck in Cleveland. I mean, there's still tread on the tires because he's had some really good games, but who's throwing him the ball is changed like probably 12 times in his career. Get him to a place, a guy who can sling it. And I think that Njoku might be a sneaky steal. And you want to talk about potential fantasy football implications. Yeah. I might have my eyes on Njoku here, depending on where he ends up, because I think you could get him late in a fantasy draft as well.
I agree. I think that would be a sneaky pick. Like you said, wherever he lands, like if he lands on the Dolphins, I mean, I'm getting him right away off the waivers if I can, or in a trade.
Yeah. Now, this is not a free agent, but I've got a question here. I was just scrolling through some news in the NFL. And since we're talking about the NFL, I want to throw this out here, and I hope it's not too much of a curveball for you. Cade Klubnik, so drafted by the New York Jets, fell way late. Yeah. He said today that he's not fazed by the fact that he fell, way late in the draft. I believe that. I think he's a quality guy. Does he play next year?
From what we know of turnover Geno, I think there's a chance he can play. I mean, there's a couple teams where I think that quarterbacks could play. Like, I think Drew Aller has a chance, especially if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back. I think Carson Beck has a chance. I mean, Brissett, he's tried to be the guy before organizations took him on. But this one surprises me the most. It's the most intriguing just because Geno Smith is gonna irritate the heck out of an organization with his interceptions. I mean, the guy will have 10 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. So like any organization, whether it's like the last couple games, they might just throw him out there and see what they have in him. Or they might say, hey, man, we saw enough after 4 games. We're trying to get a quarterback next year anyways. Let's throw him in there and see what we got. Maybe we don't need a quarterback. Maybe he was just in a tough situation in Clemson. And, that changes a whole different ballgame if he does become your quarterback and he's good, and then like he was like, I wouldn't say Russell Wilson because I think Russell Wilson was in the 3rd round. And Dak. But look what happened to that. Those two became the quarterbacks on a 3rd round pick, so that would be huge. Plus the 3 first they would have next year, So you can be looking at grabbing Jeremiah Smith. I mean, I just think that he's going to have a chance to play. I do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Cade Klubnik seems like the kind of guy. It sounds like the perfect season to roll the dice and see what you have in this guy, because theoretically, you're tanking because you got Geno Smith. You've got all the pieces around him with the New York Jets. Throw Cade Klubnik out there. See if the man, because he's got some wheels too. The guy can fly, and I think that he's also is a good distributor of the football, pigskin, if I may. So throw him out there. See what happens, because if you can pivot you still may lose some games, but like you might see enough out of Cade Klubnik at the New York Jets next year to say, yeah, I'm going to pivot. I still have all these first round picks next year. I'm going after these other positions. Like this is the guy that I want to pour into. And there's enough quarterbacks next year that the New York Jets could still pick up another guy. Just maybe they spend their first rounders on these other picks. That seems, I don't know that the Jets are smart enough to take our advice because we know what we're talking about, but I think that seems like a real smart move. So I think you definitely see Cade Klubnik in New York next year because Geno Smith. One thing I will say about Geno Smith though, yeah, he's going to throw, 20 interceptions and 10 touchdowns. But there was a guy last year that made the Pro Bowl that had more interceptions than touchdowns as well. So maybe Geno's a Pro Bowler according to those standards.
Hey, I don't think there's much to Pro Bowlers these days, man. You can be a Pro Bowler at, throwing, like you said, 10 interceptions or more. So, yeah.
That's all it takes.
I was going to ask you, though. So, my dark horse for, I wouldn't say rookie of the year, but at least, like, fantasy-wise, I think it's going to be Chris Bell on the Dolphins. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. A lot of people said he would have been a top, I wouldn't say top first rounder, but he would have been in the first round if he didn't have the torn ACL. And he's supposed to be coming back for training camp. And I'm not going to lie to you, he's coming into a situation where I don't know who's in front of him. Like if he's healthy and he looks good out there, he's wide receiver one in my eyes. There's no competition. Not much. Washington, but he's been there for a while, so we know what we have in him. But I think Bell can be special. So I guess my thing to you is there like a dark horse you have for like rookie of the year or just fantasy wise that you think like, man, this guy's going to be a stud, but nobody's paying attention to him, especially in this draft. We have our Tates, Fernando Mendoza, Love, but is there a guy like, because after that, Lemon and Tyson, it became So I was just going to ask you who your dark horse is.
Yeah, you nailed it. I really actually think Chris Bell has the cleanest path to fantasy relevance next year. Like, what do the Dolphins have to lose? As long as the man can be healthy, throw him out there. And I think he is wide receiver one. My only concern about that is he's got a guy. I don't know if you saw that first pitch by your quarterback there, Malik Willis.
That was my next thing. I was going to say he's not a pitcher, that's for sure.
He is not a pitcher. Yeah, there's not a lot of command when he's throwing the ball. But
you know what? It makes me feel good because there was another guy that had a bad throw.
Patrick Mahomes, baby.
Yes. And you know what? If that's what we're following, I'd rather him throw a baseball so bad and look like Patrick Mahomes out there any day.
There you go. Yeah, I think Malik Willis has a decent year, and I think Chris Bell is the main contributor there, unless they pick up Njoku, and that might be a nice little fit there as well. So I think you nailed it. Anyone who's watching, Chris Bell, keep an eye on that in your fantasy drafts because you can get him on a flyer late. I think he's good. He definitely has some juice there. So last thing on the NFL. Broncos, Sean Payton, Bo Nix on track for limited minicamp participation. So that's good news for the Broncos. My question for you is, are the Broncos, are they in the AFC Championship next year?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I do believe they're the complete team. The thing that they were missing, let's be honest, if Bo Nix doesn't break his ankle, they beat the Patriots. The Patriots almost lost to Stin. So, in the cold, I think Bo Nix changes that game a lot. They addressed what, their main thing that they needed to address was with Waddle. They got Waddle. Now you have Waddle and Sutton. That's a nice little duo. Plus their nice defense. Plus Bo Nix is I think a good quarterback, possibly MVP, future MVP. And you have Sean Payton, Super Bowl winning coach. I'm sorry, but I don't like to say because I'm a Dolphins fan and then they're in the AFC, but I think they're the best chance to win the Super Bowl right now.
Whoa, the Broncos did it. And that's not just because you're friends with the Crew Talk guys, right?
No, I do believe that. I do believe, like I said, my prediction for the Super Bowl is Bears versus Broncos. I just think the Broncos are just so complete of a team. They could have been the Jets, and I would have said that the Jets were on their uniform. But yeah, they're just a complete team. I mean, they don't really lack anything like the Rams. Like those two teams, I just think Caleb Williams is gonna really ball out with Ben Johnson and get that win and go to the Super Bowl. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Rams and the Broncos, the two most complete teams.
How far do my Buffalo Bills make it next year?
I actually, with the trouble that's going on in New England, and I don't know, like, is that offensive line going to get better? Is Drake going to progress after all this? Are they getting A.J. Brown? Because we don't really know that either. There could be someone else that sneaks in there. You never know. The Bills might offer something for A.J. Brown, and that changes everything up. But if the Patriots don't get A.J. Brown, I have the Bills winning that division, and I can see the Bills in the AFC Championship. I could. I don't think they get to the Super Bowl, though, because they'll have to go against the Broncos.
Yeah.
And I think they're just the complete team right now.
That's fair. You wanted another dark horse. We got some people watching right now. I'm going to give you one more dark horse, and it's an absolute homer dark horse for fantasy football production next year. It's a man by the name of Skylar Bell. He came out of UConn. Buffalo Bills picked him up. I think that Keon Coleman, I think, is going to have a better year next year. I think that he's going to work those things out. The talent is there. I think the desire is there, and Buffalo likes the guy. So I see him turning things around. However, Skylar Bell, did you know in his 2025 season, the guy had 1,276 yards and 13 touchdowns. He averaged over 100 yards per game, receiving yards per game. Now, I know it's in UConn. I realize that. But do you think that Skylar Bell, do you know much about this guy? And do you think that he could be wide receiver one in Buffalo?
I do think he could be wide receiver one. I think Moore, you guys getting Moore was good, but I just think Moore right now in his career is a wide receiver too. And I do like Coleman, but I think, unfortunately, I think the Bills kind of ruined that. The the people that are ahead, administration or whatever you want to call them, general managers kind of ruined that because they kind of like took blame and kind of made it look like he's a bust. So I didn't really like that, but I do think Bell could be. I mean, I like Don Kincaid, but he hasn't lived up to his hype yet. So there's a lot of what ifs on that offense. The only one that's not a what if is James Cook and Josh Allen. So I think what he needs is a wide receiver one. And we talked about this while we were doing the mock draft. And I honestly think Bell can come in there and be wide receiver one for sure. And just because he went to UConn doesn't mean anything. I mean, Tyreek Hill, we talked about Tyreek Hill. He went to Joku. Yeah, he got into some trouble, but he still was able to perform out there. Cam Newton got into trouble. He went to Joku, and then he came back and won a national championship. But I know Bell hasn't been in any trouble, but at least he's not unperforming out there. You know, he's showing you, okay, I performed out here, and now you're going to have Josh Allen. He didn't have no Josh Allen out there. And Josh Allen, too, he went to Wyoming. I mean, that's not like a top school, but he's balling out in the NFL. So I think that would be a perfect match, especially because he's getting a top, in my opinion, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. So,
yeah, agreed. That's music to my ears, my friend. Come on, Buffalo. Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres are not doing hot. I mean, they didn't do hot yesterday. We'll see what they can do, but I need the Buffalo Bills to do something for that city, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know we talk about it all the time, but I just think Josh Allen is so good. I hope he gets one. Out of everybody, I hope him and Lamar get one. I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes fan, but I think Josh Allen is a great guy. And you know what, man, the people in Buffalo deserve that, man. You guys seen 4 straight Super Bowls with no Super Bowl. I mean, I don't want to bring it up, but I feel like Josh Allen is going to be the guy. He just needs help, man. I mean, there's a lot of games where I've seen him play and he put the cape on, but it wasn't enough because he doesn't have help out there like that.
Yep. On both sides of the ball. I agree. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Hey man, I want to say thank you for coming on, holding it down with me with the TSP podcast. If you've been following along with us, this show's been an hour. We're going to chop it up. We're going to make some shorts so that you can get those little tidbits of the incredible fire that has been dropped on this show and throw it on our YouTube channel. If you've been following us on this show, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We are a community. We're wanting to build this community. We talk NFL, we talk NBA, we talk NCAA football. We're even talking about the NHL. So we just love sports. If something's trending or something's happening, we want to talk about it. And fantasy football season's coming up as well. Campus to Canton. So we want to talk about redrafts. We want to talk about dynasty teams. So give us a follow. Make sure to give ALO a follow here at ALO Leagues. Myself, TSP_Booker. Tyler, Mr. Diesel, 31, unable to be with us this evening, a little under the weather, so hope he feels better. And Kevin, also unable to be with us because he's mourning his Philadelphia 76ers and Flyers. But give him a follow as well and tell him to keep his chin up. Things are going to be okay, even though A.J. Brown will not be in Philadelphia next year. Follow him at TSP_Kevin, and I'm going to pay for that later. He's going to give me, there's a text on the way. I can already see it. So thanks for tuning in. Alo, I hope you have a great week. Everyone have a wonderful week. Give your mothers a hug. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Love you, Mom. Talk to you guys later.